On 8 out of 10 Cats, Take It Away, it's Paul Hollywood. Things Could Get Hairy, it's Joe Wilkinson. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, what a result! It's Gabby Logan. She's the bee's knees. It's Aisling Bea. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 40% of Americans have trouble swallowing pills? But if you make that pill bigger and out of beef, slap some cheese on it and pop it in a bun, then problem solved. 33% of people believe robots will one day replace soldiers. Absurd. Who's dipping a robot in a boiled egg? And 58% of people have difficulty finding a builder they trust. And that's because it's difficult to learn Polish. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our palace job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. John's team, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it the news that former Radio 1 DJ Mike Reid has been nominated for a Mobo Award?
Oh, what a world that would be. And tell us what happened.
Well, he's promoted UKIP via the medium which we all use for things we love, which is a calypso song. You've got to go some way to be the most hated Radio 1 DJ of recent times. But he's really... He sung a song in an accent. Now, don't get me wrong, I love an accent. An accent is not racist.
No.
Unless the words you're singing are racist and the accent you use is a bit...
Racist.
Racist.
Mike Reid has apologised unreservedly. He said it was never meant to be remotely racist. You can't sing a calypso with a Surrey accent.
Did he say that as he finished the song? He went, dring. I'd like to apologise profusely for the racist undertones in that song, but I have to sing it in that accent, otherwise it's not a calypso. Forwards with Britain!
It's at number 22 in the charts. I only know that today because my kids were looking to download something else, another song this morning, and my daughter, who's 9, went, "Oh my God, there's a UKIP calypso! It's a number 22!" And so I had to explain what it was, and, you know, she went, "Can we listen to it?" I went, "No, it's dirty, don't listen to it."
What other UKIP hits were they looking to download that came up?
No, it was in the charts. It's number 22 in the charts.
The main problem with it is it's embarrassingly shit, isn't it?
I liked it.
Yeah, it's not the only immigration story this week. There was also the head of the EU has basically said Cameron's plans for immigration caps are illegal. Cameron said, "The UK public is my boss. I only take orders from them."
Only that's not true because we have to go along with what we've signed up for in Europe. So it's completely illegal for David Cameron to actually impose any kind of cap at all, isn't it?
I mean, the thing is about the whole EU thing. I mean, I worked in Cyprus for 6 years. So I look at it from the other side of the fence.
How were you treated out there? Did they welcome you with open arms? I suppose you've always got cake on you, so... If every illegal immigrant was supplied with just a tray of cakes, I think people would go, immigrants, they're bloody marvellous. These are delicious.
It was an easy place to go and work. I mean, I always found that the immigration officers out there, you know, we had to queue for like 12 hours to get it stamped every 6 months.
12 hours in a queue?
Yeah.
What, 12 hours without bacon? Have you ever gone that long?
No.
I can't believe, what did you put on?
It gets a bit dodgy after 3.
It's tough, though. Immigrants are getting a bad time at the moment. They're getting such a bad rap. And I know people say, oh, you're just coming over here taking people's jobs. And I know this seat right here could be taken by a UK comedian. Like, in my country, I was a surgeon.
She worked for many years as a tree surgeon. She's bloody marvellous.
No, there's a 3 surgeons. 3.
Hey!
Racist.
Let's have a look and see if all these immigration stories are up there. Yes, immigration stories have been dominating the news this week. Mike Reid was accused of being racist for singing the UKIP calypso in a Jamaican accent. It's only my personal opinion, but I think that man is a bomber clot. In response to EU immigration caps, David Cameron has insisted he answers to the British people and they are his only boss. Well, if we're his boss, why don't we make him do something useful, like rename the cabinet Tenacity and get them to make jackets with solar panels for shoulder pads? Sean Steen, what else has the nation been talking about?
Is it, there's a, well, the only disabled man in the world it's OK to hate. He's been sent to jail.
That's right, this is the story. Oscar Pistorius was jailed for 5 years, but might be out and under house arrest after just 10 months. I mean, it seems very lenient, doesn't it?
That's terrible. How are you going to make any good friends in 10 months?
How do they say 5? They give him a maximum of 5 years and it ends up he could be out in 10. How does that work?
Yeah, it's
10
like
months.
the South African prison systems, you've got to serve 1/6 of your sentence and then you're eligible for sort of parole and house arrest and...
So he still could be in there for 5 years. What's the chances?
It's unlikely, isn't it, when he's been given such a meagre sentence.
So, Gabby, what do you make of Pistorius' story?
I think prior to the incident that happened on Valentine's Day last year, he had appeared to be this incredible trailblazer that had done the Olympics and the Paralympics in the same calendar year, which was, never heard of, and was kind of making this breakthrough for Paralympic athletes. But now, obviously, it transpires that a bit of a monster was brewing underneath the surface. And I think that can happen in a lot of sports, kind of, where people get kind of a bit bigger than the sport and they're treated as gods. And maybe nobody kind of pulled him down a peg or two, really, and kind of grounded him. It's very sad.
Can't say peg or two when...
No.
Not fair, Gabby.
Well, speaking of the Paralympics, the International Paralympic Committee has said that Pistorius will not be allowed to compete in Paralympic events until 2019.
Oh.
And that, unfortunately, is as a starter.
Big question now that this trial is over is who's next, isn't it? We've had OJ, we've had Oscar.
Remember that sailor? She's been very quiet. Ellen MacArthur, she's been very quiet. She could go, like, postal. She could join up with the Somalian pirates. Start seizing tankers. And
so Captain
ISIS
Phillips
with weapons. She could do that. I could see Helen MacArthur doing that.
Cried a lot. Cried. Good. He cried, and that's why he got a lenient sentence.
He did. He cried virtually that every time you... Sky treated it like it was the World Cup.
But then, the South African justice system seems to be made for TV, doesn't it? Because they have this really, really long process, obviously, through the trial. Then they have this long process of deciding the sentence, where they take more evidence, which is absurd, really, that you get people coming in saying, oh, he's a nice guy, he did lots for charity. We've just established he shot his girlfriend. That shouldn't actually make a difference right now.
I reckon there's be a couple of, like, chirpy, wisecracking inmates, though, rubbing their hands about him coming in, thinking, oh, can't wait for the comments I can make when he goes to the toilet. Yeah, that would give him a bit of a lift.
Yeah.
Those characters you get.
What kind of comments will they make?
I don't know, like, oh, don't go in the toilet when the Oscar's around. and some fellas might go, what? Why? They go, oh, he's like Oscar, I wouldn't go in there when he's standing there. They go, why, what's he going to do? Something like that might happen.
They don't at night time, though. They're going to take his legs off him at night time, but he can have them during the daytime, which I think is the wrong way around. Like, he's historically known for being more dangerous at night without his legs than during the daytime.
I wish someone would take my arms off me at night.
They're a nuisance if you want to sleep on your front. You've got to have one
that's
under
exactly
you,
what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. And I sometimes... I don't have a teddy bear, but I'd like one, because I'd sort of sleep on my side, and I have to now put a pillow there.
I can lock my arms in the air.
Because it's easier for you because you sleep on a bench.
Yeah.
He's lost all his lucrative sponsorship deals, hasn't he? He had a huge deal with Nike. The only company that sponsors him now is Sillet Bang 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 Bang.
Let's have a look and see if Oscar Pistorius is up there. Oh, the most talked about thing. Yes, Oscar Pistorius has been sentenced to 5 years in jail. One unnamed inmate said prison gangs would protect Pistorius, presumably in the same way Pistorius protected his girlfriend from that burglar. Yeah, let's see how he likes being disturbed by 4 unexpected discharges in the middle of the night. OK, John's team. What other news? What other happier news?
Kate Middleton has finally come out.
So to speak.
So to speak. She's been vomiting in the castle.
She hasn't been vomiting, she's had hyperemesis gravidarum, actually.
Isn't it known as super sickness she's got?
Who came up with that? With the laziest doctor in the world. I've forgotten all the Latin I learned. Super sickness. That'll have to do.
It must be horrendous that she can't leave the castle.
Yeah, she's just got a castle. Imagine being stuck in a castle all day.
That's not very nice, but she must be thinking it's a great excuse for getting out some of the crap she has to do.
Ironing all those flags.
Yeah, exactly. Feeling poorly again. I'm not doing it.
Sean, the baby's due on April 29th. It's their anniversary. Are you excited?
I don't know. I mean, I've really struggled to find why this is a story. I mean, if it said scan reveals monkey. I put my tea down here. Hang on a sec.
Joe, how did your parents react to the news?
They love me, regardless.
I think... I just don't know. It literally doesn't raise... Don't mind. I wish them no ill.
We only need one, don't we? Should just do an X Factor for the Royals, and there's one left, and that's the one I'll give a shit about. I just can't give a shit about all of them. They keep saying, oh, they're only 56p each. They go, well, yeah, but it's not about that. It's about not having a choice. If you give me a choice, I'd give that 56p to Leon and June off Gogglebox. They deserve it more.
They like the Royals, though. They'd be upset if you got rid of the Royals.
Now, Leon doesn't like the Royals, does he? Bollocks, I'm having a cracker. That's what Leon is. I did discover this week that apparently Diana used to call Harry the spare heir, which I think is fair play. That's quite funny. I'm surprised if there's a spare heir knocking around the palace, it hasn't been stuck to William's head.
I feel a bit sorry for Harry, though, because he's slowly, with every new baby, decreasing in value.
Here's his reaction to the new baby.
You're going to become an uncle again for the second time?
I am going to become an uncle again for the second time, hopefully. So, yeah, it's very exciting news. I can't wait to see my brother suffer more. And with any luck, if it's a girl, then he'll suffer even greater. I think I'd love to see him try and cope with that.
And, of course, with that growing family, your prospects of becoming king reduced, don't they?
Great.
He's cool.
Gabby, you did the coverage of the royal wedding.
Yes, I did.
Will you do the coverage of the... Will you be standing outside somehow?
No, I don't think I'll be called upon to do that. All that, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it, when they stand outside the hospital going, we have no news to bring you. I can confirm nothing has happened. It's the worst rolling news story ever, isn't it?
The well-wishers outside that hospital made me look normal.
I don't get that generally. You know, when they go to the news and they'll send some reporter to the area to cover some story that's loosely connected.
No, it's always outside the football ground. Just, yeah, there's been a transfer story, and so I'm standing outside some gates.
The player's not here, the manager's not here, and neither is anybody who's anything to do with the deal. This is Brian Wilson reporting from Anfield.
Is that a mug of tea?
This is my imaginary microphone, which, whenever I try an outfit on that I'm going to wear on telly, I always hold my
I thought you were in the rain.
You always... So whenever you do what on telly?
So sometimes if I try, like, clothes on that I'm going to be wearing on telly, say I'm going to the World Cup and I'm there for 30 days, I've got to have 30 outfits. When I try them on, I do this thing where I hold this imaginary microphone in front of to see what it looks like, which my husband finds hilarious.
Nice to hear someone English with confidence say, when I go to the World Cup and I'm going to be there for 30 days.
OK, let's take a look and see if the royal baby is up there. Yes, the due date for William and Kate's second child has been announced. No one knows what life will be like for the new royal baby, but one thing's for sure, it'll be better than yours. Sean's team.
Are they talking about Sterling at the moment?
Now, you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Tell me, what's the story on Sterling?
Well, he basically said he couldn't do it, or someone said he couldn't play for England because he was too tired.
He said that?
Well, and then 24 hours later, he was spotted in the club at 3 a.m. partying. Now, the thing is, I'm a Liverpool fan. He can do whatever he wants. I mean, the lads are... If he's not playing for England and he's not playing for his club, we can have a bit of a break. What's wrong with that?
Apparently, Sterling approached Hodgson telling him, I'm not on my best form at the moment because I'm feeling a little bit tired.
In fairness to Raheem Sterling, I tried to watch that game and it turned out I was too tired to watch it. So if he was too tired to play in it, I understand. I think I got to about half-time before I fell asleep.
I think if England had been playing opposition where they may have lost or, you know, drawn and he wasn't playing and England didn't get a win, it would be much worse. But I kind of respect him for saying he was tired, if he was tired, and then don't put me in a position where I'm going to let you down. But then when you go out 24 hours later, it just doesn't look great.
Don't agree. I do not agree with that point of view. He's 19, right? It just shows how shit England are that a 19-year-old has got the fucking nerve to say to the England manager, oh, I don't feel like playing. He should be begging to play. I think our young English players have just way too much status. They shouldn't have the status to even dream of saying that to a manager. They shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, or they shouldn't. He should have been completely honest. He should have said, I'm a bit tired today and I don't want to play. Tomorrow night, I want to go and see this crazy nightclub circus show with these stripping dwarves. And I don't want to fall asleep during it. So could I avoid the match?
Well, this is what happened. So Sterling went out the night afterwards and saw dwarves, snakes and bearded ladies at sort of circus at a club.
I know exactly what happened, because I was at the nightclub and I was...
You are not a lady, you've just got a beard.
I was dancing in a cage and he come over and he said, I'm still tired, that is why I don't want a private dance. And so he must have been tired, otherwise why did he turn me down?
I should say, though, Sterling is teetotal. He was out till 3 a.m. the next day, but he was teetotal and he was up for training the next morning, so...
Times have changed, though. When my dad played for Leeds United and they were playing Man United away and he was really badly injured. He had a bruise that goes from your hip bone down to your knee, couldn't move his leg. And so he was laid up at home. But when they got to Manchester, the Leeds team, one of the players got injured. And so they rang my dad up and said, can you get over here? It was 10 o'clock in the morning, kick-off was 3. Can you get over here? And he said, well, I can't. I said, don't worry, we'll inject your leg. And he had to get the train. I love the idea of him going across the Cross-Pennine train on his own, literally holding his football boots, about to play at Old Trafford. And this was like, you know, a top-level football match. Can you imagine Raheem Sterling going, yeah, I'll be on the Intercity 125, I've got my boots, I'll be there for you. And
did he play?
Yeah, he played.
Did they win the game?
Yes, and they injected his leg with something that, you know, he can't walk now, but it's fine, you know.
But I personally think, though, they should pick all the England team from the Championships and all the divisions below. I don't think there'd be anyone from the Premiership, just from the Championship.
You couldn't care... You just care about your team, you could not care less about England, right?
At the moment, I don't really care about the England football team, no.
I think that's... Is that not... That's quite a common thing,
you
now,
get
isn't
so
it?
let down all the time when you're watching a match.
What do you mean you get so let down watching England? Did you not see the season Liverpool had last year? Let's have a look and see if Raheem Sterling is up there. Fingers on buzzers, one more thing to get.
Oh.
What have you got?
Oh, it's the rice shortage.
Oh, yeah, that's been... Oh, no, that's not in... That's weirdly not in the top 5.
No, that's next week. The NHS, another bizarre NHS government screwed up crazy initiative to stop people getting fatter. I didn't mean to say that sounds so judgmental the way I said fatter, didn't it? I mean, to stop people getting fatter. Because of the cost of obesity to the NHS is huge. I mean, really massive cost. Like, really, a big fat cost to the NHS. A big, blubbery, great, big, wobbly, lard-arse bill. The NHS is going to have to stump up to pay for all the obese that people have got caught. They've They've caught it in their mouths and swallowed it.
What they've proposed is to try and help this problem that Sean has so eloquently and succinctly kind of put in a little nugget for us.
I think I got it across, didn't I?
You got it right over there. Is to give people vouchers as an incentive to lose weight. So you give them a £50 voucher, which I just think is absolutely ludicrous. It's like saying to an alcoholic, if you stop drinking, I'm going to give you £50.
I think the incentive thing's going to work, because I do that in my life already. I have incentives, like if I wash up, I then let myself play with fireworks.
If you were going to stop the obesity crisis, what would you do? What's your plan, John?
The problem is people don't care that they're going to die until they're dying. People haven't stopped smoking because of the little shitty pictures on packets or the little shutter doors. They've stopped smoking because there was a thing invented where they're still smoking, but they're not going to die of it. That is the only solution, is like e-scratchings and, like, you know, a vaporised crisp.
I'm just glad booze and toffee apples aren't bad for you.
You are a warning to others, Joe.
The problem is addictive stuff in food, that it's making food is now like crack. What you want to do is you want to stick crack into the carrots. And then be like, I can't get enough of these carrots. I've got to have some more hummus. People be robbing grannies to try and afford more hummus. You need to put crack in carrots.
Do you know what would sort out overnight?
Go on.
Ban lying. Morning fatso, that's it. Just no more lying. The main point of the issue, isn't it? It's about the NHS, the cost of the NHS. It's not actually worrying about the individual health of people. And I think we've actually got to a point now. There's a famous speech in Macbeth where he says, I've waded so far into the blood, I can't turn back, and I'll carry on. And I think we're at that stage with obesity, and there's no point trying to turn back. I think we should make people fatter so they have heart attacks sooner and they're not a burden on the NHS. So you'd have, like, you know, just in the street, just like custard pumps, and they just stop off and they just go...
My idea's a lot simpler.
What? Go on.
It's those gladiator travelators at the front of all chip shops. Let's see how much you want a sausage and batter, mate.
They're going for prevention rather than cure because, you know, people's, you know, there is growing obesity in this country. It's been caused by our sedentary lifestyles and, well, mainly the cause is bake-off.
You can't say that. I always think about a balanced diet, you know, if you take sugar and cakes and all that things out of a diet, then it's not balanced anymore. It's like, would you blame, you know, when there's a...
Excellent argument. I'll have another slice.
Anything in moderation is absolutely fine.
You can't blame the bake-off, though. I love the bake-off so much, Paul, by the way. And, like, the world is crumbling around us. Nothing we can do. ISIS are taking over the world. There's Ebola on the rise. Kim Jong-un is just going to blow us all to hell, and the Americans won't do anything about global warming, neither will the Chinese. There's nothing we can do, and sometimes all you want to do at the end of the day is just sit down and watch Mary Berry stick her tiny little teeth into a little biscuit and go, maybe, just maybe, we're all going to be all right.
Let's have a look and see if the NHS is up there. So those were the most talked about things over the last week. But in other news, it's Halloween this Friday. I love Halloween, but then I've always loved people putting the willies up me. Katie Price has brought out her 40-second ghost-written book this week. I've got no problem with it. She doesn't write them, we don't read them, everyone's happy. And Oscar-winning actress Renée Zellweger has appeared in the press looking unrecognisable. Shall we take a look at her? Yeah. OK, here she is before. Here she is now.
If you put them together, you could do spot the difference, couldn't you? Like those you get in the newspaper.
There you go.
She's not that different.
She looks like a different person.
Yeah, she looks like a different person.
People get older.
Well, she looks younger.
She hasn't got older. She's gotten sort of...
She's changed her wallpaper.
Which one's...
Well, at the end of that round, John, Gabby and Aisling have 2 points. Sean, Joe and Paul have 3 points. Please pick of the polls. Sean, Joe, Paul, pick a question. What do you like the look of?
The pie, obviously.
Let's go with the pie. Your specialist subject. OK. Most people would rather be good at cooking than sport. True or false?
I would probably say true.
What? No, I'd rather be better at sport.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wanted to hang out with the cooks, did they? Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, he's sitting right there, Sean. It feels like you could dress it up a little bit and not immediately go, sport, definitely sport. So what's being a great cook done for you? I mean,
I'm a baker rather than a cook.
It's literally the same thing.
No, it isn't. If you put something in an oven, it's baked.
So the microwave, do you count the microwave as an oven?
Well, it's called an oven, but I don't often use microwave. Although Nancy this year was putting her dough in a microwave to make it rise a little bit.
But she won.
She did win.
Yeah.
Using a microwave.
Well, no, not because of the microwave.
Joe, are you a good cook?
Yeah, I'm good at cooking and sport. I just don't bang on about it.
So you do lots of sport, right? You've represented Wales in the Commonwealth Games. So are you a better cook than you are a sports person, or...?
Now I'm a better cook than I'm a sports person, because that was a long time ago. But I think, personally, if you're really, really good at sport, you can earn lots of money and get somebody to cook for you. But if you're really, really good at cooking, you can't pay any money to be good at sport, can you?
But you could watch sport.
You could watch it, yeah, you could be an armchair fan.
That's how I watch the Great British Bake Off. I sit there going, come on, Paul, you call that a biscuit? Come on! Like that.
John, what do you think?
I was interested in cooking because I already knew I was shit at sport. You tend to go into it because option A has failed.
I will just check in. Hang on a second. Were you terrible at sport?
Yeah.
Turns out you're right.
I've never seen anyone eat a cake on the bake-off, pull their top off and slide down the grass inside that tent. It's a different kind of thrill, isn't it, sport?
Well, I don't know. You know, baking can be very sexy. Take a look at this. That was an advert for bread from the 1980s. Paul, your hair looks really different there. Well, Paul, as you're on the show tonight, we thought we'd have a little sort of 8 out of 10 cats bake-off. Sean, what have you got?
Oh, I went to town.
What did you bake?
Well, you've heard of the famous layer cake.
Oh, yeah, the layer
Paul.
cake, of course.
Well, I went for a lay-by cake.
Talk us through the cake. That's an extraordinary looking thing.
Well, it's a lay-by, and we've got a badger that's been run over. And then there's a mattress. There's a Battenberg mattress. I've done the back with some stains on it. Dumped mattress on a lay-by. Some toilet roll. I didn't have time. I ran out of time to do the pants on the hedge. What do you think of me, Battenberg? And then there's little bin bags here.
Genuinely spitting that out. Sean, he's got to taste a lot of cakes. He just tastes it and then he spits it out.
What's this made of?
This...
Sugar paste?
I used sugar paste and an actual turd I found in a lay-by.
I think it looks fantastic. I like the sponge. It's nice and moist. It's got a good bake on it. No soggy bottom. Well done.
Thank you. No soggy bottom.
Does anyone... John, have you baked anything?
Yes, well, I'm a big fan of Bake Off. So my favourite thing that got made this series was the Baked Alaska. So I thought I could present that in the way that you are accustomed to from Bake Off. So there we go.
You really don't want to have a look at what that looks like down his trousers.
Yeah, you do.
I got a little bit excited while I was making it.
It does not
Show
look...
everybody how excited you are about that cake.
They're going to see how excited I was to make this Baked Alaska. I see you've already got some cake down there for later.
Thanks very much, Billy.
Baked Alaska
There you
a
go.
la... Was it a la bin?
But
Okay.
the whole thing about the Alaska gate
Yeah.
was Ian, he lost his rag a little bit. He had a bit of a tantrum and he chucked it in a bit. You can't do that. Not on Bake Off.
You can't do that on 8 out of 10 cats, as it turns out. It just doesn't work.
Look how happy John's face is because he's cleaning up. Joe, I believe you've got some cake.
Yeah,
Taste
well,
all their
I've
cakes.
actually gone a little bit different. I did a pastry, but it is a pastry with a twist because I've decorated it with me and Paul naked in a treehouse. If you notice, Paul, I've given you quite a large plonker. So I'm hoping that will swing it for me.
Sorry, what did you bake?
Oh, it's a pasty that I decorated with us on holiday. I assumed you had grey pubes.
Who do you think the winner of Cat's Bake Off is?
It's got to be Joe.
You're going Joe?
Yeah.
OK, let's get some answers on this. So, most people would rather be good at cooking than sport. What do you think, true or false?
For sport.
So you're saying false? OK. John, what are you going to go with?
We're saying cooking, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, just to be contrary.
I can tell you the answer is true. 66% of people would rather be good at cooking than sport. Yeah. I'd say I'm better at cooking than sport. My girlfriend asked me to knock something up in the kitchen, and now our cleaner's pregnant. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Top sign you need to grow up.
I still push Lego up my nose. I like the feeling.
Aisling, do you miss anything about being a child?
I miss the games we used to play. There was this one great game we used to play, which is called Where's Daddy Gone? And that was good because it went on for up until now, actually.
I think you miss Christmas, that edginess of Christmas when you find out that Santa...
What?
Don't say it, Paul. Don't say it.
I won't
Don't say it.
I won't say it.
There's a baker. What about those adults? I can't bear this. It really drives me nuts. They're not allergic, but they don't like tomatoes. Oh. It's fair enough when you're 9, but when you're a grown-up adult, you're hungry, you're waiting for your food, and there's a waitress trying to understand the idea that somebody, you know, of fully grown adult size doesn't want tomatoes.
I enjoyed our evening together. If you didn't want me to come to dinner, you shouldn't have asked. But frankly, the flesh on a tomato is too much like human flesh.
Do you not like tomatoes?
The skin and flesh ratio is exactly like eating a small red human.
Oh.
I occasionally still sleep in my mum and dad's bed. They don't want me to, but I have a key to their house.
Occasionally wearing your pants twice when you're a kid. You can do that as a kid, can't you?
And an adult.
That's how you know you need to grow up, if you put your pants on for a second
What if
day.
you've got a day off, though? What if you've been working hard and then you go to bed in your pants because you don't want your bits dangling out?
Are you sleeping in pants because it might get untidy?
It flops about, doesn't it? Sometimes I turn
Mine
the light
doesn't.
on by accident if I turn quickly in the night.
OK, so I'll give you a clue. So it involves your mum.
It's got something to do with your mum.
Yeah, students do it. Students kind of do it when they
Get
go...
the washing done.
The right answer. Yes, the top sign you need to grow up is your mum still does your washing. Last time I went round my mum, she offered to wash my smalls. I said, no thanks, mum. I haven't got time for a bath. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Gabby and Aisling have 3 points. Sean, Joe and Paul are the winners with 4 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, Why I Pet, it's Sarah Millican. Brooker's talking. It's Alex Brooker and their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, the one to watch, it's Alex Jones. Not just a funny face, it's James Acaster and their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 83% of people think banks are the most important shops on the high street? And that's a survey of people that have momentarily forgotten they've just opened a Nando's on the high street. 55% of people believe in ghosts. Ooh, believes in ghosts these days. And 50% of people who win the lottery return to work afterwards to tell their boss to fuck off. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's Guy Fawkes night this week, so tonight it's our palace job to guess the nation's top 3 most popular British traditions. Sean's team, what do you think are our favourite traditions?
Well, actual Guy Fawkes night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual Guy Fawkes night.
The thing is, his name wasn't Guy, it was Guido, which is an Italian name.
Yeah.
And the translation of Guido into English isn't Guy, it's Ian. So it should be Ian Fawkes night.
Oh, penny for the Ian.
Yeah.
5th of November, he climbs down your chimney. He leaves some sparklers under your pillow. And then when you grow up, you learn it was just your parents.
Those were not your parents. People had broken and entered.
Basically, what I think's interesting about it, though, is that you're celebrating something that didn't happen, aren't you?
Yeah, you're celebrating a failed attempt to blow up Parliament, yeah.
Normally, you celebrate something that happened, don't you?
But that's by the by.
Is it? All right.
How's that by the by? What do you think's the key issue here?
Well, I mean, you know, fireworks is a nice night out, isn't it?
Not if you watch the One Show. It's terrifying if you watch the One Show. Because you always do the safety film with someone who's basically let a Catherine wheel off in their face.
Health and safety first, Jimmy.
Yeah, there's always a lot of health and safety
But the thing is, I haven't always...
Were you applauding health and safety?
I assumed we were all applauding health and safety and sad to be the only one.
I haven't always liked it.
You didn't always like fireworks night? Go on.
Well, because I lived on a sort of an estate cul-de-sac thing.
Yeah.
We used to take the Guy Fawkes round in the wheelbarrow, you know, penny for the guy.
Right.
And we didn't have a head. So my sister shaved my girl's world. Do you know what a girl's world is?
My sister shaved my girl's world.
You know what a girl's world is, right?
Have you ever shaved yours, Sarah?
I know what it is.
So go on, you shaved your girl's world for Guy Fawkes, right?
A girl's world is a plastic head with hair, and you do the hairstyle.
Making it worse.
Oh, it's making it worse. Sean's making it worse. Anyway, she shaved my girl's world and put that as the head. So I didn't like it for a while. Now I like it again.
What about you, John? Do you like it? Because, I mean, it's fun, so I imagine not so much.
I like it. I worry about everything. I worry if I had kids, how you let a kid have a sparkler. I think I'd just tell him, I'll hold it and you tell me where to move it.
When we were at school, we had someone come in to do, like, the demonstration video about the sparklers. Right. I'll never forget him in front of my whole class. I was only about, like, 10, and him going, just by the way, you need to be really careful holding these. And then looked at me. I was like, what? I don't know what rumours you've heard. That's not what this is. Do you know what I mean? And statistically, if there's one person in the room less likely to get their fingers wet, it's me. I've reduced my percentage of burning, I think.
So do you like fireworks, Sarah?
I have a slight problem with it because I married my first husband on the 5th of November because we thought it would be a really good idea because we'd never forget our wedding anniversary, and then we got divorced.
So those were the only fireworks that night?
Well, not that night.
No, that night was all right.
That night was all right. You know, it's just after that. A fireworks display is probably quite a good place to take a new boyfriend so he can hear all the noises in you that he's supposed to make you do, all the ooh, oh, wow.
Careful, you'll have my eye out.
And then you can't go back to it until it's died down, obviously. You can't touch it for ages.
Well, let's have a look and see if fireworks night is up there. Yes, fireworks night. Guy Fawkes was sentenced to be hung, drawn and quartered, but managed to cheat the execution by jumping from the scaffold and breaking his neck. Well done, Guy Fawkes. That showed him. OK, well, what else are our best traditions, John?
If you're talking British traditions...
Yeah, British traditions.
I imagine it's drinking alcohol to excess until we puke.
We are bloody good at it.
What distressed me recently, they put out guidelines on what they think binge drinking is, and they said if you drink half a bottle of wine a day, you're an alcoholic. But if you live on your own and you open a bottle of wine, you've got 2 goes to finish it or it goes off. So half a bottle of wine is a deadline, really.
But it's because it's 8 units for a man, isn't it, and 6 for a woman, but nobody will say how many it is for a bane. Something Geordies want to know.
Isn't it for a week? It's like, is it for a man? It's 21, which is what, about 11 pints, which you'd hope to have done by Tuesday.
Alex, do you drink too much?
If you can't binge drink, you're not Welsh, bottom line.
Right.
I was a late starter because I was a bit of a swot. I was like a violin-carrying dweeb. And, but I was quite late discovering sort of diamond white, which is very nice. On a more elegant night, we'd go diamond blush because it was pink. And then we topped it up with vodka, and I got home somehow. Mum and Dad opened the door. I fell in, projectile vomit over the whole hall. And instead of being upset, they were sort of proud. They were like, yes, she's normal.
James, you a big drinker?
No way, man. What I don't like about it is when you go to a bar, you don't know how much the drink costs to the last minute. It's not like in a normal shop, everything's got price tags on it. At a bar, it's a secret. You order all the drinks, and then at the end, you wait for the surprise. It's not fair. You know how in a taxi cab, you have the meter running and you can watch it? They should have that behind the bar, like hook it up to the taps, and while they're filling the pint, you can watch the numbers go up. And if it gets a bit too much for you, just lean in and point the side of the glass, like, anywhere here is fine.
The thing I think about binge drinking is that every summer it's the same. You get all the papers going, oh, the British teenagers are going crazy abroad in Magaluf. There's people half naked and there's some being sick on the street. And I just look at it and I just think, God, I bet that was a good night out though, wasn't it? I'm just jealous.
You had your stag do recently?
Yeah, I did.
Well, that is a smile that says something terrible happened. What happened? What was the...
It was just like carnage. You're getting the Jaeger bombs. There was all sorts of drinks I was mixing. I binged. I don't care, I binged.
Did you do more than 8 units, do you think?
Oh, massively.
9.
9 or 10.
When do you go to bed if you don't drink? That's what I don't understand.
I don't drink. That's me.
When do you... Because if I don't drink, I literally spend the whole night thinking, oh, I could send an email now.
Do you have a bedtime?
No, I'm 32.
Sarah, you've got a strict bedtime.
Yeah, but I decide it.
But you're quite strict with yourself.
Yeah, but I can change it.
If you've been good.
If I've been good, yeah.
What time's bedtime, then?
1:30, unless it's 3.
What are you doing now till... What are you doing till 1:30 if you don't drink?
Telly. Reading. There's other things apart from booze, John.
No. Who wants to be paying attention to what's on at 1 o'clock in the morning? Everything on at 1 o'clock in the morning is shit.
If this is going out at 1 in the morning, I apologise. Stay tuned, he doesn't know what he's saying.
People who are drunk, no offence, all of you, clearly. Awful company. Like, if I wanted to be around people pissing themselves and talking rubbish, I'd have had a kid. It's the same thing.
Well, it's quite a fun fact. So London Zoo got into trouble recently for having... They had zoo lates, and they got into trouble because some drunk people disturbed the animals.
Of course they did.
Only a little bit, though. A man poured beer over a tiger.
They prefer Frosties.
They do prefer Frosties, that is a documented fact. One man stripped off and tried to enter the penguin pool. One zookeeper at the penguin enclosure was asked by a man leaning over the glass barrier, which penguin can I fight?
They do just stare, don't they? Penguin looks at you, just never looks away, they just stare at you. You stare back at them, they don't go...
Are you saying the penguin had it coming?
Well, yeah, I can see that happening quite easily.
OK, no, fair enough.
After watching Happy Feet, if I was boozed up and I went to a penguin enclosure, I'd expect them all to tap in unison. And if they weren't, then I'd get pissed off, and I reckon that's probably what happened to that guy. But I wouldn't go to a zoo boozed up anyway, because I'll get really bad beer goggles and I'd just be like... I wouldn't trust myself.
What animal, if you were gonna, now I'm not suggesting for a moment, but if you were gonna in the zoo, if you had your beer goggles on, the llama, so
You just
soft.
asked him which animal he would have sex with in a zoo.
That's because I answered.
But you said a llama.
He said a llama, he didn't even have to think.
I just think it's not your usual, isn't it? So it's something like if you went, I pulled a, I don't know, a horse, and it'd be like, oh, just loads of them. And it'd be like, I've done a llama, you've gone a little bit above and beyond, haven't you, I think? I can't believe I'm even saying this shit.
I can believe we're not advocating having sex with animals. He is.
They've just banned it in Denmark.
No. Well, I'm cancelling those tickets.
Banned having sex with animals. It's illegal. I know. Crazy Europeans, you know. And they've also, they banned Marmite in Denmark as well. They banned Marmite, it's too salty.
Yeah.
It really annoyed me. Anyway, if you're asking, owl.
Owl?
Because they've got a cloaca, haven't they?
A cloaca?
It's a cloaca. It's a hole for everything. Because I know stuff, I read books.
Yeah, what kind of books? They're magazines, love.
No, they're ornithological textbooks. But, you know, a bird has a cloaca. And you can get some big owls. You get a big owl.
Wouldn't you obviously go for a gorilla?
Wouldn't you obviously go for a gorilla? You're saying you would the gorilla?
Wouldn't you?
I'd fight you for the gorilla, Alex.
Yeah. Well, it's the closest thing to us.
What have we been reduced to?
I like the fact I've learned something, though, about the old cloaca and that.
I've just been given the best note of my career. Just to clarify, we're not advocating having sex with animals. Apparently we need to say that in case anyone's watching this and going, no, I thought we could. I didn't realise.
Yeah. Well, just to say, if you go to Denmark, think about it, think twice. Because it won't be another day for you in paradise.
Phil Collins, everyone.
Yeah, Phil Collins.
Well, I can tell you binge drinking is not in our top 3. You might be asking yourself, am I a binge drinker? Well, if right now you're watching 2 of me while lying on your living room floor in your underpants singing I Will Survive, you might be. OK, Sean's team, what do you think is the nation's favourite tradition?
Oh, I think April Fool's Day. I don't know if they do it elsewhere in the world. Probably banned it in Denmark.
I'll tell you where else they do it. They do it in Spain. Yeah. And if you fool someone, you say, you innocent little dove, that you let yourself be fooled.
In English?
It just feels nicely poetic, you innocent little dove that let yourself be fooled. Again, in Britain, when you fool someone, if you play a practical joke at the end, you just go, ah, wanker.
Do doves get fooled a lot? Go around fooling a dove every now and again? Introduce it to a pigeon you painted white?
Have you ever played any pranks? Have you done any on the One Show? It feels like the One Show is kind of the environment where you could do...
we pretended we were talking from a box.
Did you?
Matt and I got into a box and we spoke to people. I mean, it wasn't original. It didn't work, to be fair.
James has a question.
I'm unsure as to what the prank was. You were in a box, you spoke to people.
And people would pass and we'd be like, oh, yeah, how are you? Because we had a camera inside and they'd be like looking around.
So you were out in the street?
We were on the street.
Oh, I thought you meant like guests came onto the One Show. And you're both in a box.
No.
And they were going, hello, hello, Whitney. Hello, Charles Brandes. Did you have a good time at the Pencil Museum?
like April Fools because an ex-boyfriend said he was gay.
On
April Fools. But he didn't realise it was April the 1st. It was an actual fact.
I don't know where to begin.
It was very short term. I think he thought, I can't. I'll tell her on April the 1st. I thought he was joking. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's happily married to Richard. That's all we need to know.
So in a way, he was pretending to be in a box as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Had you got him with an April Fool before he told you that? That would have been
No.
if you had done the old cling film on the toilet and he was covered himself in piss and gone, right, something got to tell you anyway, gay.
You know the cling film? That only really works for fellas. Because if a lady sits on it, it just feels lovely.
Just have 4 litres of Fanta. It's a day for wankers, really, isn't it? Well, it's very British to be able to say, oh, if you want to play a hilarious joke, then you must wait until the one day of the year. I mean, guy like me...
because you're so full of joy and fun the whole time.
I'm pranking 24/7, 365, Jimmy. I don't...
So what pranks have you played?
I love a hide.
So where do you hide?
Wherever there's a gap, mate.
I once hid down the side of the bed, and my fella came in the room and spotted me straight away because my arse was higher than the bed.
My favourite pranks, you know the ones where you can tell someone's thought of it and they literally haven't had a single person to check with? So they've done like a bomb scare or something, and then you see it in the paper and you think, if you just had one person around, even if you just had a cat to just look at you and go like that, you could have thought, hang on, but nobody asked and you've done it and then you thought, oh.
I agree with you. Pranksters, if you've got a prankster in your group, he's normally the prick of the group, isn't he?
Well, you got to there before he got to prick. Sean, do you ever play any pranks?
Sometimes what I do is I replace all the light bulbs in the house with ones of a slightly lower wattage.
Stop
You
it.
can see people on the dimmer switches going, oh. I'm sitting there chuckling away going, never got a clue. Sometimes I go up in the loft, just move everything around. Nobody knows, do they? So what, basically I do stuff, there's no victim.
Turn the doormat round.
Yeah, oh, I love doing that, yeah. You're a bit of a prankster, are you?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, Sean. Sometimes I change ties halfway through the evening. I'm staying in on my own, but it's funny.
Just remembered another one I like to do.
Go on.
It's if we're having a drink, whatever, and they go to the toilet, I put my cock in their pint. That's not as subtle, and there is a victim. Usually me.
That's why I switched to hot toddies. Too many times.
And you do have to take it out again before they come back. Very important.
Yeah.
Speaking of brilliant pranks, earlier this year, a Polish man dressed up his dog in a spider costume to terrify passers-by. Let's treat ourselves. Just so you can see it, here's the dog. Here he is in his costume.
Aww.
I mean, if you see it in daylight, it's not that scary, but...
I think I'd shit myself during the day if I saw that.
My mum always used to get us, every year she used to get us when we were kids, and it was always a mouse. She'd just say, oh, I saw a mouse, and we'd be like, oh, no, it's a mouse, and she'd go, "Bah!" like that, because that's how it works. But then there was one time she sort of roped me in on it, and she said, shout downstairs and tell your dad and sister that I can't feel my legs. And this
What
is a
now?
woman. This is.
I can't feel my legs.
Yeah, and this is a woman with polio, just so you know. She's got a really dark sense of humour, my mum. She's awesome. So I shouted downstairs, oh, I can't feel legs. And they ran upstairs, of course they did. And she went, ta-da, out of the bed like that, because she's twisted. But then I decided to get her back the next day. Oh, no, why am I saying this on the telly? Put some old knickers and a very red lipstick. And pretended I'd started my period.
Let's see if April Fool's is up there. Yes, April Fool's. My girlfriend did a brilliant April Fool's prank on me last year. She got my best friend to come round, take all his clothes off and hide in the wardrobe, and then she jumped in the shower and pretended she didn't know he was there. OK, Johnstein, what other British traditions do you think are popular?
Is it celebrity gossip? We all love gossip, don't we?
So do you read the celebrity stories in the paper? Sarah, do you ever read?
No, I don't like all that sort of stuff. I find it quite icky. It's because you don't talk to your neighbours anymore, though, isn't it? Because we used to talk to our neighbours and bitch about people that way. And because I'd rather die than talk to my neighbours. Sorry if they're watching.
So you don't like the celebrity gossip?
No, I don't like all the bitchiness. It's always just slagging off women on, like, the Daily Mail website. Or sidebar of shame, that's what they call it, isn't it?
They had a headline the other day, Cheryl battles trolls. Clicked on it, not a single troll.
Were you hoping for, like, Game of Thrones?
Cheryl Cole under a bridge with a cricket bat.
There were some revelations about you recently. It was in The Guardian. John Richardson, I didn't have any sex, I didn't do any drugs.
I don't know who leaked that story. I'm looking across the table. I've kept that very quiet.
Alex, do you feel you have to keep up to date with the celebrity gossip?
I have a confession. I'm obsessed. Because it's either that or the serious news, which I'm supposed to do for my job. So instead, I think I'll start lightly and go to the showbiz.
Well, what you could do, Alex, instead of doing that, is maybe look out the window and contemplate where your life's going.
Well, celeb gossip is not one of the most popular British traditions. What would we do without British tabloid newspapers? Well, for a start, we'd have to buy proper plastic bin liners for our cat litter trays. Figures on buzzers, one more thing to get.
We go to the seaside, don't we? Like a bit of the old fish and chips and sit on a cold, wet, dark winter's beach and contemplate death.
Well, that went downhill fast, didn't it?
That's what holidays with John are probably like.
I'm really patronising now. People call it a staycation, don't they, if you go on holiday in this country? Staycation is just going upstairs in your house and staying there for a week. The politicians think they're really cool, don't they? Oh, David Cameron was seen having a staycation in Cornwall. Bloody expensive Cornwall and a lovely part of the world. Let's
have a look at David Cameron on his staycation in Cornwall. There he is. And they just, apparently they just rolled him back into the sea after that. You're from South Shields, Sarah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a seaside town. Did you spend a lot of time on the beach as a kid?
Yeah, but we were always wary of the sand, because we were always told that in sand is glass and turds. But it does mean that your sandcastle just has windows, you know, and turds.
Can I just say, I've got no positive memories about the beach at all. When I was a kid, my granddad was terrified of jellyfish. Like, to the point where he acted like they were galloping around the sands, like leaping on sunbathers and stinging them at the butt. And he kicked my football, my favourite football, into the sea. And when I ran to get it, he dove in front of me and stopped me and went, "No, that's just what they want."
Have you been to Wales on holiday?
Yeah. You know, I think Britain in general, beautiful coast, some lovely seaside towns, but some are dodge, aren't they? And instead of lovely bronzed people, you've got really white people with goose pimples, which just isn't nice to look at. And then you contemplate, shall we go in the sea that's full of trolleys and condoms?
I like that thing, seaside. You know, we don't get the weather, which is you don't get the weather, but, you know, if you're lucky, the pier gets on fire and that will warm you up.
I used to live in, like, a seaside town, and the thing that struck me about it is how much the local people used to moan about other tourists coming in, as if they didn't know what they were signing up for. But I quite like the fact that I always read now when they say prisons are like holiday camps. I find it quite ironic, because you're probably quite likely to see a 70s entertainer at both, aren't you?
Yeah. That's a good point. OK, let's see if seaside holidays are up there. Yes, seaside holidays. I went to Bournemouth the other day, and although the sand was absolutely lovely, they do have terrible problems with crime, drugs and youth unemployment. They've got 99 problems, but the beach ain't one. Well, at the end of that round, Sean, James and Alex have 2 points. John, Alex and Sarah have 1 point. So next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Alex, Sarah, pick a question. What do you like the look of?
I like the look of that sexy guy there with his very similar biceps to me. Except he's got them all on one arm and I've sort of spread them out all over my body.
OK. Here is your question. We asked the studio audience, would you rather get a massage from a friend or a stranger?
My sister used to do massage, and she said there's a muscle that if on a bloke that gives him an erection.
Wasn't she suspicious on the day of the training that they taught her that?
Oh no, she found it out herself.
I'm pretty sure it's not just one muscle as well. It's pretty much the entire body when touched by anyone who looks nice.
Can you say in a Geordie accent, my sister's a masseuse?
Oh, my sister's a masseuse, like that.
That's all I needed. All I wanted. The idea of giving me any pleasure is revolting to you.
Yeah, I feel like I need to wash my hands. I don't think I'd even want to be massaged by a bloke. I went with my friend of mine, and she opted. There was like a male and a female massage therapist, and he said, "I want the bloke," and she said she could feel his
Gentleman area.
She said she could feel it on her elbow, and I'm just fascinated by that because my elbow's got like rhino skin on. I don't even know if I could do hot and cold, let alone tell if it was a cock or not.
All right, come on. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to add a bonus round to 8 out of 10 cats. And now cock or not. John, do you like a massage?
I don't like a handshake, Jimmy. I'm uncomfortable with that much physical contact. The idea of stripping naked and having someone touch the backs of my legs and my arse and my neck.
They don't do your arse.
I know. That's why they don't get tipped. No, I don't enjoy being touched and massaged. I've never had. And it's the idea of a friend or a stranger, it's obviously a stranger. I don't know what social groups these people move in, but you're watching the football and, oh, that was an amazing goal, that one. I'm just a bit tight there. You just tease it out. Oh, yes, you are a legend.
So, Alex, would you rather get a stranger to massage you or a friend?
Get off a stranger.
Definitely a stranger?
Yeah, because they do your bum.
So many...
Did they do your bum?
Only in Greece.
Only in Greece?
Oh, OK.
Yeah.
I've not been there.
And
Greece or Ireland?
just like this. I mean, he wasn't shy, and it wasn't pleasant. Have I said
He
too
tells
much?
his story very differently.
Yeah, he tells the story very differently. I meet the lady from the wine shop. She's very nice. We've got some massaging tools here. Do you want to have a crack at those?
Yeah, that was for catching spiders.
Right.
Is that enough for catching
Do you want to have a go at these?
Huh?
Ready?
OK, Sarah, you do John. Oh, hang on, this is good.
It's not remotely pleasurable. It's
OK,
You look really relaxed, though. That's
John,
good.
nice.
hands on the desk. Hands on the desk, yeah, OK. There's people on their first night in prison that look less stressed than you.
Oh, that's really horrible. No offence.
This only works on the head, yeah?
Well, no, I've got other devices. I've got this for you. Do you want to have a crack at that?
Ooh, what is
There you
that?
go. So you press the button on the top.
Is it clean?
Yeah, we gave it a rinse.
Oh, I could do that, actually. I've got a bit of a problem with my shoulder.
Have you got any more of them knocking about?
I've got that. That is a face roller. I like that. Yeah, so you're meant to roll that on your face.
I'm going to do something to my face because I've got enough bad things going for me.
Yeah.
Really
Do it on mine. I don't
Go on.
mind.
Whoa.
Oh.
Have a go on this. Have a little twitch.
Well, I'll do you. You
Go on then.
did me. I'm very aware I'm gripping it in the same way I do when I'm painting my hallway. Right,
It's going to need a couple of chords. Oh, it's quite nice. It is quite nice. Give us a chord. What? It's nice everywhere.
This is meant to be this is a hand massager. So if you put that on. Do you want to give Sean a go with that? That's the hand massager,
Ready?
apparently. Don't stick them in your eyes, Sean.
Relax.
I'm very happy
Lean
with it.
forward.
All right.
Ready?
Feels like one of my kids is rubbing a car over me.
Is it nice, though?
I've fallen asleep pissed on the sofa. I've been woken up in the morning. There's a kid playing on me.
OK, let's get some answers on this. So we asked our audience, would you rather get a massage from a friend or a stranger? John, what are you going to go with?
Stranger, obviously.
You're going stranger, OK. What are you going to go for?
I don't really matter to me, because if I take my glasses off, don't know who it is. Could be the Pope. Could be the Pope.
So what are you going to go for, Sean?
I'd always have a stranger, because I wouldn't want a friend reading what I've got written on my back.
What? Have you got a tramp stamp?
No, I've just got a load of lyrics on my back. And I wouldn't want a friend seeing those.
What lyrics have you got?
It's just a song. I just got the lyrics to a song. You
Well,
know,
which song
people get songs.
Means something to you, yeah. Which song is it, though?
I've got girls just want to have fun lyrics.
Stranger, OK. I can tell you 78% of our studio audience would rather get a massage from a stranger than a friend. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Worst way to break up with someone?
At the maternity ward.
I got dumped in a curry house once, but it was right at the end of it. And I was like, I'll pay, I'll get the bill. And she's like, we're on a break. And she's like, I don't think we should get back together. I was thinking, I would have ordered all the sides and that, because I went the full hog to try and get her back. I had, like, sagaloo, bargees.
You're trying to win her back with a sagaloo.
I heard about a guy, he was going to propose to his girlfriend, and they did a nice romantic walk down the beach, and before he could propose, she broke up with him 3 minutes before the plane that he had booked was scheduled to write, "Will you marry me?" in the sky. And I was talking to my friends about what you would do in that situation, and I think I would desperately try and run around the beach trying to write "abort" in the sand. And maybe push her in the sea.
Alex, have you broken up with anyone? Because one of the worst ways, I think, would be for a guy to tell you that he's gay. I imagine that's...
I think a fax machine might be a bad way to do it.
Didn't Phil Collins famously do that? He broke up with his wife by fax.
What, he went like this?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, that is Welsh, isn't it?
Sarah, what's the worst way to break up?
Is it smash the world's best boyfriend mug in front of them? Like maybe in their face?
So you essentially glass them with a mug.
Invite them to your wedding, you could do that.
You're still going out with them, but... Oh, that is cold. John, do you think she's going to do that to you?
I do now. Thank you.
So worst way to break up with someone?
Toss a coin, and just say, look, heads will leave you. Yeah. And then you go, oh, damn, it's tails. 20 years, I suppose. Or, I think a limerick's a good way to do it.
A limerick?
A limerick's a good way to do it, because you put some thought into it, and, you know, and it can give them a sort of, a sense that at least it's got a jaunty little angle to it. But like, a thought is suddenly dawning of why I'm consistently yawning. For the past 20 years, you've bored me to tears, so I'll be off in the morning.
Worst way to break up with someone, let's get some...
Murder.
It involves a third person.
Shagging someone in front of them.
That is the right answer. Yes, the worst way to break up with someone is to deliberately cheat in front of them. When I split up with my ex-girlfriend, she took it really badly, at least that's what my PA tells me. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, James and Alex have 3 points, so do John, Alex and Sarah. It's a draw, everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, stop right now. It's Melanie C. He's got Specs appeal. It's Ramesh Ranganathan. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, fresh meat, it's Charlotte Ritchie. His eyes are smiling. It's David O'Doherty. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 3.5 million Londoners use the Underground every day? My gran's been using the Underground every day for years. We buried her in 1994. 43% of men over 36 say they don't have any close male friends. So, mission accomplished, eh, ladies? And 33% of Brits have mistakenly called or texted the wrong person. I accidentally called my mum the other day while having sex. It was so embarrassing. I said, "I'm sorry, Mum, I'll call back. I didn't realise you were having sex." Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellist job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Cheryl Cole was accused of miming on X Factor, wasn't she?
Yeah.
It's a big scandal.
I don't think she was, though, because she put out a very strongly worded statement in which she said...
Melanie, do you think she was miming or not?
Well, if she's miming really well. And if she's singing really well. And I think she's probably better at one than the other.
Ooh.
Hey, we've all seen her sing live. Didn't we? At the Queen thing? The Queen's Golden Doodah?
Well, no, there was another... I've seen her sing
the
a couple
Queen's
of things.
Golden Doodah?
Did you not know the Queen has a Golden Doodah? She was on Embarrassing Bodies. They did a royal special. So Cheryl's denied that she was miming.
Yeah, no, it's really difficult.
Is that not part of the job, though? I mean, you were in the Spice Girls for years, and you have to sometimes on a TV show mime, right?
Yeah, I mean, often you mime because you don't have the choice because they're not set up for the sound, but it's the X Factor, and there's lots of contestants singing live who've had no experience on live television, which when you've been in a band like Girls Aloud, you have.
Right.
But even if you are a really experienced singer, it's hard to do a good job. And they're going, I wonder whether it's like, sorry, it's a fly. I've not got an issue there. Well, I've got a few, but not that one.
There wasn't, she mimed. there wasn't a fly, she mimed that. I also seeing it from Cheryl's point of view. You know, everyone's going, oh, she mimed, she shouldn't have mimed. Well, what you got to remember is, of course she mimed, she's trying to sell a record. If she sang that record live, that'd be a PR disaster.
I think if she was miming, it's just the worst thing ever. The idea that she can't sing live on a show that's all about live singing. I know I'm stating the obvious.
You're a singer as well, right?
Yeah, yes.
So
yeah.
Did you used to be in bands?
Yeah, I did. I used to be. I was in a manufactured band actually. It was an all-girl.
Spice Girls weren't manufactured.
I didn't mean to look at you. I didn't mean to look at you. It was because of you're in my eye line. and I was in it, and it was a kind of classical all-girl group, and we sang.
Would you ever be tempted to go on X Factor?
Oh, no, because I get cross-watching it because I think it's like a talent show, but I think it's also mainly an entertainment show.
It's so cannibalistic, isn't it, that basically Cheryl Cole sings on... It's like this sort of monster that eats its own shit. Like, and it'll get to the point where the backstory will be, yes, well, I won X Factor once, and things didn't really turn out for me, so I'm ending up back on X Factor. I think it's just a big scam. One day, it'll all be exposed, it'll be like PPI, you know, and everyone will get all their money back from the phone calls.
You'll get a phone call, did you ever buy a One Direction single?
Yeah.
I did. Well, you could be owed money.
Yeah.
Are you a big X Factor fan, Melanie?
This is a tricky one for me because, of course, Mel B's a judge on it.
Right.
So I have to.
Lie.
I do support. I have to lie. No, I do support her, and she's the best thing on it because she says it like it is. But I fucking hate the show, and I'm totally bored of it, and I can't believe it's still on the telly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever sat on a fence before, but that's not how that's done.
It's just so contrived.
Yeah, it's not like in the old days of the Spice Girls. It's not like they didn't have an idea for that.
It was completely organic, the Spice Girls.
Of course it was, yeah.
But
the
X Factor is so done, isn't it? Who's gone on to have a great career from the X Factor?
One Direction.
Well, that's it. That's it. How many years has it been on? 11th, we're in the 11th year?
I mean, I've done pretty well since I won it. Granted, it was a different show then. I'd be like, at the end, I'd be like, fax me, vote for me by fax. And I'd do the fax mime.
Oh, do they still do that on it as well? Call. Don't you hate that?
I hate
the contestants.
that. It's like, if the song is dog shit, you are not going to convince me by doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hated everything Oh, you want me to phone? Yeah, I will do, yeah.
Yeah, but you say that. I don't like the song on the Gay Exchange advert, but I call.
What was that number again?
08 785 79 78 45.
That's where I know you from. OK, John, who do you think is going to win?
The Italian one, because that's what they said on Gogglebox. And that's where I get all of my X Factor knowledge from. They said the Italian one who likes dogs is going to win it. I can't believe he's not going to win it, Dad. You're such a fucking idiot. He said it.
One of them on the X Factor said he seduced a lady who may also have been on the X Factor, but he said he got to 6th base. I think that's where you take a shit while she's brushing your teeth. I think that's it. You're so comfortable.
Is that the really incredible, talented Stevie dude? Didn't he go out for dinner with Simon Cowell to a fucking Harvester or something?
It's actually called Harvester, not fucking Harvester, but I made the same mistake.
Sorry,
I had no idea.
How many fuckings are allowed?
Oh, you're allowed loads of them, don't panic.
No C words, though. We're not allowed
No
any
C words?
Back to the C word at some point.
OK, lovely, no
Brilliant,
problem.
thanks.
She's going to play the C word at some point. What do you think of Simon Cowell? People criticised Stevie Ritchie for being cheesy this week. This is how he responded. That's pretty distressing. I think his belly button's winking at me.
Why did he have, like, sports socks and sweatbands on?
Because he's like sort of the new Sporty Spice.
Is he? Is he Sporty X?
He's the new Sporty Spice, look at him.
Shit.
It's a waste of good cheese, that. I like a laugh, so I have the triangle one, but there's no need for the blue cheese there to get involved. His cock clearly isn't there.
I think he might have gone mental. Yeah. I've got another one.
Fans of cheese jokes,
Yeah.
stay tuned.
Yeah.
Sean Lock, everyone.
Shame it wasn't Parmesan or some other hard cheese. Hard.
His publicist said, damn, that was a bad idea.
These jokes could be better.
Yeah.
Let's see if X Factor's up there. Yes, Cheryl's been accused of miming on the X Factor. The X Factor ratings have embarrassed Simon Cowell. He's really lost face and then replaced that face with a much bigger, wonkier face. OK, Johnston, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it the complete breaking down of any physical boundaries? What have you been talking about, touchy McPenis hands?
Everyone's talking about Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah, OK.
Selling shitloads of albums.
So she's taken her music off Spotify. That's the big news, isn't it?
She has, yes. I don't understand how the world... She's made $250 million from music, and I've genuinely never heard one of her songs. She points out there that the haters got to hate, and can I just say on behalf of the haters, that, we are out there 24/7, 365 to try and stop shit like that happening.
I feel like I'm probably her target demographic, actually. And so I wanted to be like, don't like it, really don't like it. And then it came on and I was like the chicken. Has anyone seen Chicken Run? When the chicken, the really big one, she doesn't notice, but her feet are tapping. And she gets really cross about it. I felt like that. Like, when I heard the song, I couldn't help it. And I think it's so good. I think it's so good.
I don't know whether that analogy's made it any clearer for you.
The one good thing about Taylor Swift is, I've done in my research of her, is she hasn't really made a career on dancing around in her pants, has she? Which a lot of people seem to do these days, don't they?
Was she doing that video?
She wasn't really in her pants, was it? It wasn't
like granny pants.
Yeah, which was ballet gear. But, you know, a lot of people, basically, let's be honest, are performing in lingerie, yeah, in sort of soft porn stars. Yeah. Old-fashioned, the sort of porn I used to enjoy. Before I found God. Looking at me. But they do, like, you know, Beyonce, she's like the biggest earning female music star or male music star in the world, I don't know, or not male. She basically spends a lot of her time in underwear, you know, singing in her underwear. Why can't you get a singer, just come on, lovely voice, in a fleece?
OK, so Taylor Swift, back to her. Ramesh, you a fan?
Massive fan, yeah. I sort of understand where she's coming from in terms of like wanting to take her music off Spotify, because you just if you're getting it for free, why would you bother paying for it? It's not a business model, is it?
On Spotify, artists are paid around 0.006 cents every time one of their records is played. That seems reasonable, doesn't it?
Look at poor Taylor Swift, she's struggling.
I know, she hasn't, because she wasn't making any money. I was out with her last week, and, you know, it's her round, and she gets this old tonic, just tonic in a glass, and then she has this sneaky bottle from the club and just tops it all up.
100% sure that's Taylor Swift you're out with.
Oh, no. It was my mate Barry who runs Swift Tailors. Or a dry cleaning service.
Yeah. Good to know. Let's have a look and see if Taylor Swift is up there. Yes, Taylor Swift has had her entire back catalogue removed. Sorry. I apologise. I know what's coming, and I don't think you'll like it, but I like it. Genuinely don't know if I can do this. Yes, Taylor Swift has had her entire back catalogue removed from Spotify. We'll do it in sections. We'll do it in sections. My granddad had to have his entire back catalogue removed. Something to do with his prostate. OK, fingers on buzzers. What do you think?
Is it the, Not the face. Well, there's been a revolution has started this week, Jimmy.
So this was... Explain what happened. What was the story?
Well, I believe it was a nice bonfire night, and then some people went out and wore masks and chanted at McDonald's, and the whole world collapsed. It's a bit shitty, I think, organising a sort of anti-capitalist march on a night when people are already setting fire to things You're sort of stealing the glory of bonfire night there. If you start a riot on, like, a Wednesday and stuff gets set on fire, you can go, God, we started that. But everyone was already setting fire to things.
It was a Wednesday, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I stayed in.
Of course you stayed in. There was fun going on outside.
Nobody actually knows what it is they're doing. They've just gone to kick off for a bit. So, like, when you watch an interview, they go, what are you doing it for? Just, you know, the leaders and that. They don't know what's going on and that. Like, let's sort it out. And the thing is, it's so easy to take pot shots. But running stuff is actually difficult. So before I became a teacher, I was all for, like, teaching properly. And then what I started doing, I just turn to page 65 and get on with it, you pricks. Do you know what I mean?
There's one person who didn't wear a mask, isn't there? Russell Brand. And I think the funny thing is that he's the only one not wearing a mask, because obviously if he wore a mask, people wouldn't know he was there, would they? That's the main. So it's sort of big publicity for his book.
What's it called?
Revolution. In fact, if his book's called Revolution, he shouldn't be out there trying to sell it. He should be trying to encourage people to steal it. Shouldn't he? Yeah. You know, he's backpedaled so much now. He started out saying, don't vote. It's stupid, pointless to vote. Don't vote. But he's now come out, Russell Brand, and said, no, what I'm saying is, actually, he goes, who am I supposed to vote for? So if you reduce that to what he's actually saying, is what everybody says at every bus stop or newsagent, you go, politicians, what are they like, eh? How'd that not get in? Oh, no, bloody hell.
In his defence, right, we all bitch and moan about the government because they are shit, and they have been for years, and it's getting worse. How are we ever going to change it unless we come together and all stop moaning at bus stops?
The main problem is now is people get the politicians they deserve because they don't take any interest in politics. And him saying stuff to people who are disaffected already and aren't engaged with the political process, don't vote, is the most moronic, self-serving, pathetic bit of attention-seeking wank that has ever spewed from a tailor's moron's fucking mouth in history.
I reckon people are being mean to him just because he doesn't have a posh accent. I would cut him some slack. It's the thing we have at the moment's rubbish, and it needs people to sleep out under temporary tarpaulins, maybe, to change it. I don't know.
You're suggesting going camping?
Yes. Probably the reason I hate him so much is because I'm a dad, and I've got this fear that one day my daughters will bring something like that home. And he'll come in and go, oh, such pleasure to be in your charming abode. Mummy-in-law is very delicious.
Well, the protest in Trafalgar Square is not one of the most talked about things over the last week, but Russell Brand joined thousands of angry people protesting against capitalism. It was a great night for Russell. He managed to ship 5,000 copies of his new book. Right, fingers on buzzers, one more thing still to get.
Well, I don't know. Probably by the time this show goes out, even Mrs. Baker won't be talking about it. But is it the news that Norman Baker's resigned? Hold the front page. He resigned from the Home Office.
And this was the Lib Dem politician Norman Baker, he's resigned because of the drug policy, right?
Yeah, well, he's resigned because he said, in a very, very sort of bad metaphor, he said it's like walking through mud, working under Theresa May, which is not that difficult, is it, walking through mud? I think he meant treacle. He said it was very, very difficult to work alongside her, so he resigned in what I would describe as a very petulant, childish way, like, I'm resigning, when he doesn't realise his purpose there is not to get along with them, it's actually to annoy, be a nuisance, just make things difficult for her, He should have just, hung around, I don't know, given her a nickname.
Theresa May, what would you have suggested?
Well, Diesel Arse, I think that'd be a good one. Just spreads that around as a shit in a drawer or something like that.
I can't imagine you ever doing that in a workplace, Sean, but presumably at some point you were employed somewhere and, with a proper job. Did you ever make a nuisance of yourself?
Well, not deliberately. I don't think... I've been sacked quite a lot.
In your defence, you needed a shit and there was a drawer there.
Yeah. No, I've never been in a high-profile enough position to have a drawer.
So, there's also been calls this week for Ed Miliband to resign. What would you make of that, John?
Well, I would like to stand up for the man, but the fact is he is depressingly shit. I imagine every decision he makes he shits himself about. Like, if I open the door myself, will people think that I can't get someone to open the door for me? But then if a woman opens it, do I look sexist? Or if a man opens it, will people think I'm having an affair with a man?
Charlotte, what do you make of Ed Miliband?
He's kind of... I think you make the point that he's basically worried about how he looks so much more, and there is a sense that if somebody's, like, desperately wanting to appear a certain way, then maybe they don't actually stand for anything particular. And
this week he tried to give some money to a beggar. Well, he was walking past a beggar, and then some journalists see him walk past. So here's a picture of him giving some money to a beggar. Best will in the world, that's not how you do that.
Are you supposed to even give money to beggars?
I buy them booze because I worry they're going to spend it on food.
No, but it's difficult because...
I fuck them, because I've usually run out of change. You do. I just think, look, I can't walk past and give you nothing, so I'll give you a good seeing to.
It is a big social issue and something I battle with every day because homeless charities insist you should not give beggars money because you're not helping them.
OK, but those are people that used to be in a band with you.
Hey, everyone's doing all right, mate. I'm the one who's on this frigging show for a few minutes.
Well, let's have a look and see if Norman Baker is up there. At the end of that round, Sean, Romesh and Melanie have 2 points, John, Charlotte and David have 1. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Charlotte, David, pick a question. What do you like the look of?
The screaming man with his hands over his ears.
OK. Most people hate the sound of their own voice, true or false?
Well, I do hate your voice. But it's a really good test if you get a new sound system or TV at home. If you just leave you talk for 10 minutes, if it's still working, then it's not bad.
Like 10 minutes to get a word in edgeways on this bloody I agree, that is annoying, isn't it? What if I go really close to you? Hi, David.
Yeah.
See how I'm this close, but I'm still not touching you? It can be done.
Do you find your voice sort of annoying, or...?
It is annoying. I used to do a thing where if I thought of something while I was out, I would phone myself and leave it as a message on my answer machine. And I could never do it, because as soon as my answer machine picked up, I went, fuck it.
The thing I don't understand about you, though, is you do have kind of quite a nasal voice, but then you're brilliant at doing accents. Why don't you just pick an accent that's better and just do that?
I would, Jimmy, but they tend to label that more of a mental breakdown than
What, you do a very good Spanish. Quite a sexy Spanish, I think. Just do Spanish from here on in.
The fact that you find it sexy is why I stopped doing it, Jimmy.
Do the Spanish.
What you want, my friend? No, that's...
That's more Mexican. I just think we should find a different voice for you, and we should just stick with it.
I agree. Liverpool, I would stick with. That's a
Can you do
better accent.
Scouse?
Everyone can do Scouse, can't they? It's the one
I
everyone
don't think
does.
it's the accent that's the problem, is it? It's more the pitch.
This is such a fun round for me, really. Is there a possible round on small dicks we could do next as well, Jimmy? Don't feel I'm taking enough of a hammer in here.
That's what your girlfriend said.
Charlotte's got a nice voice. You've got a very... You say things properly.
It's so hard to talk after someone said you have a nice voice. Sometimes I lower it to sound like more mature and like I know what I'm talking about.
So do I.
Does that...
I couldn't believe what my real voice sounds like.
I mean, you've got quite a posh voice, haven't you?
Yes. There's no way around it. And I used to get teased if I ever tried to make it not posh because everybody hates that. So every time I tried to temper it, my friends just would not allow it. It was...
And your friends were... your friends were in Destiny's Child,
They were.
I think you just got to have faith in your own voice and just...
This is good now. This is the new one.
It sounds like Morgan Freeman with more energy.
Morgan Freeman's more... I'll never forget the first time I saw Andy Dufresne. My voice is very, very scratchy, but it sounds quite nice, and that's why I talk quite slowly when I talk.
Just do that voice forever.
Okay. I can do one impersonation in the world, and it's one word, and it's John Motson, the great football commentator, saying the nickname of my favourite football team, Tottenham Hotspur, and he says, Spurs. The worst is when people try to do an impersonation of this. People, particularly from this country.
You're talking about the hairstyle?
It always ends up offensive after. It'd be like, is that right? Sure, look at you with your bomb and a potato! Famine!
You realise this show is edited and that's the only thing we're going to use it. Melanie, do you find your speaking voice, do you like it?
It depends, and I find it changes a lot as well. I think, like everybody, you kind of adjust the way you speak for who you're speaking to. Because I'm not going to speak to, like, Sean, I'm not going to go, you know, all right there, Sean, how's it going, mate? I don't know, it's just weird. If I'm on telly, I'm not going to talk really fast and really Scouse, but if I'm pissed, you might understand me.
You're saying the Scouse people, maybe it isn't an accent, they're just drunk. Good point. Sean, do you like your voice?
Well, the problem with me is not my voice, it's usually what I've said.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it's not just the voice. Do you ever get the feeling like you'd just like to have a little holiday from yourself?
Oh,
just have a little break?
Yeah.
Just like a couple of days off?
Would you be somebody else in the meantime?
Oh, that's complicated, isn't it? Possibly either way, just a couple of days off.
But not the full operation, you just want to dress up and...
Yeah,
Scientifically, don't you hear your voice inside your head is a register lower than what it actually sounds like?
You hear your voice lower?
You in your head.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
When I first heard my voice back, I just cried for ages because it was so horrible. And the worst thing about it is that your voice, when you know, like when you're in a photo and you've got a little bit of a belly and people say, oh, no, that's not how everyone sees you. Your voice, you're the only person that hears it the way you like it. So when you hear the recorded version, that's how everybody hears it. It's like you only seeing a six-pack on yourself and everyone else thinks you're a fat bastard. That's basically what it's like.
But also, nobody is as critical of your voice as you are. You know,
I don't think that's been the case.
Well, obviously, there's freaks, but apart from that...
OK, well, let's get some answers on this. So most people hate the sound of their own voice. True or false? What are we going to go with, John?
Shit, yeah.
You're going to say true?
Yeah.
OK. What are you going to go with, Sean?
Well, I like fun. I'm going to go false.
OK, I can tell you the answer is... It was very close, but it's false. Only 47% of people hate the sound of their own voice. People really shouldn't judge others by their accents, but they do, don't they, though? So the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Best way to seduce someone?
Tether a goat.
What, sorry?
Tether a goat to their fence outside the house. Just leave a goat there. And then, well, you leave it there, and then they bring it in, and then a couple of days later, you go, oh, did you find my goat? And they go, oh, yeah, it's in the garden. And you sit down, you start chatting about the goat, and they become attached to the goat, and then you sort of say, well, it's amazing, we've got so much in common. Before you know it... You just lean across there, say, it's a lovely goat, isn't it? You just go...
Who's that to? Who are you doing that to?
To the person you've given the
the
goat
person.
to. That's their shoulder, that's their shoulder.
Oh.
What's the matter with you people?
I think that might be actual sixth base.
I've always wanted to ask Mel this question. Has any sleazy guy ever gone, I know what you want, what you really, really want? Do you know what I mean? Like in a disgusting, horrible way?
No, not so much in that way, but it's probably the thing that is said to me the most.
Speaking of Wannabe, Wannabe was voted the catchiest song of all time ever last week.
Scientifically proven.
Scientifically proved to be the catchiest song in the world.
It won the Ebola Award for music.
Historically, like being in a band, is a great way to get laid, isn't it?
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
But
when you've got songs like Two Become One, ho-ho, it's on.
Yeah. But I kind of messed it up by wearing tracksuits all the time.
Do you have groupies?
The thing is with the Spice Girls, our fans were mostly very young girls or gay guys.
Apparently, insulting girls is meant to be. I've heard. Is it called negging?
Will you?
Meant to give a girl like a sort of underhand, like mean comment, and then her confidence is lowered, and then you can pounce or whatever. And someone actually, well,
I mean, if you're gonna pounce, don't bother dressing it up.
The whole idea behind negging is like if there's a really attractive girl, they believe that they're above you self-esteem wise, so you have to do little like digs, but you have to do it like in a disguised way. Like you go like, oh, that's a nice dress, doesn't go with those shoes though, does it, or whatever. And then, but the thing is, you get your drink as the night goes on, and you just think it's going really well. You just kind of go, you're a fucking twat, aren't you?
Similar to Sean's goat trick, I genuinely wooed my first girlfriend when I was 17. I had an enterprise where I would come to your house and fix your bike if your bike wasn't working, and she phoned me up, brackets, at my parents' house, and I came and I've mostly fixed her bike, but didn't fix all of it, so then I had to come back and fix the rest. And she had an accident in the meantime. We went out for 2 months.
I've been seduced. Well, someone's attempted to seduce me. It was a distinguished elder gentleman. I was a young lad hitchhiking. And,
Are you writing erotic fiction on the show now?
he was chatting away and he said to me, he sort of started to suggest the idea that I might be interested in another aspect of sexuality. And I was sort of going, no, not really, mate, no. And he said to me, surely we should try all the fruits in the garden, Sean. And I said, fuck off, right? But what I wish I'd said was, it's not the fruit I'm worried about, mate, it's the gardener. I didn't think of that till the next day.
Yeah, of course, by that time, you were trussed up in the back of a truck.
Well, yeah.
John, have you ever chatted anyone up? Have you ever used a line?
No. No. I play the long game. I can cook, I'll clean, I'll beg.
All right, I'll go.
This is all direct lines I've used in clubs.
If you were trying to seduce Charlotte, let's say, how would you...
I have a girlfriend, Jimmy, and I will not risk that relationship for the sake of one of your little jokes.
So, are you worried that Charlotte may fall in love with you if you... I think you're going to be all right, mate.
All right, then, well, all I will say, Jimmy, is on your head be it. If my life collapses as a result of this...
you're insured against this, don't you?
You to be there to pick up the pieces.
OK, Charlotte, prepare to be seduced.
Here we go.
Oh, it's happening now. OK.
Heard that before as well. What brings you to this, Weatherspoons?
I'm here for a quiet drink with my boyfriend.
That's me. That's me. I'm on either side of you now.
Threesome?
OK, best way to seduce someone, what do you think?
I think it's probably listening, isn't it? Taking an interest.
It's a way to keep someone's attention.
Money, showing them all your money.
Scream.
Okay, look at all the money I've got. Look how much money I've got. Look, I've got more. Look, bring all the money in.
Giving them present, lots of presents.
It's not presents.
Follow them in a scooter. Get a little scooter, just follow them. I like you, I like you.
What was that? Follow them in a scooter?
Just those little kid scooters. So you're not threatening. Like a car, if you follow them in a car, that'd be threatening, creeped out. If you know those little scooters that kids have. I like you. I'm slowing down for you now, so I'm right at the same place. I like you.
Ramesh, what did you think?
Eye contact.
That is the right answer. Yes, the best way to seduce someone is to make eye contact. I have to say, it didn't work for me. All she said was, what are you doing? Stop touching my eye. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Charlotte and David have 1 point, Sean, Ramesh and Melanie have 4 points. They're tonight's winners. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home. That's it for us. Good night.